Hello, Digidestin, and welcome to the King's Court. Really quickly, if you hear any noise in the background, I think my neighbors are like having a party or something. I don't know. I think it's someone's birthday or something, or I think one of them's having a kid. I don't know. But you hear any noise in the background? I'm so sorry. It's my neighbors. I have the windows closed and everything, but I swear these walls. I don't know, man. But anyways, like I said, welcome to King's Court. And if you're a first time viewer, hi, thanks for clicking on the video. And if you're a returning viewer, hi, how you doing? Okay, for about a week now, ever since we going up to the pre-release for BT17, I've been uploading videos talking about how certain decks are going to be getting upgraded, and those videos have done super well. Now I want to talk about a new deck that's coming out of the set that I'm personally very excited for. So before we get to that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more videos, and let me know in the comments what new deck, or basically what deck do you think you're going to be playing thanks to the BT17 set dropping. Are you probably going to be playing this format? Personally, if you watch the channel, you know me, I'm always playing my War Greymon tribal deck. Originally, the deck started off as purely Black War Greymon, but these days, the deck just works so much better if you amalgamate War Greymon Raid, Black War Greymon X, Skyomon. The deck just works so much better, so it's pretty much become War Greymon Tribal mixed. So, I'm always playing that, but this is the deck I've been waiting on for a while. Omnimon, because we finally got a deck fully centered around a fusion of a red War Greymon and blue Metal Garurumon, because we did have the Omnimon Alter, what was it? Alter B deck, which I'm going to mention that card again later on in the video, but that deck, it it wasn't the exact kind of what we were expecting. Like it it could Jogris, but it wasn't like, first off, it wasn't an ace card, which makes the card so much more better. And it was kind of 50-50, but this Omnimon completely revamps and just makes the deck in a complete Omnimon deck. So I'm very excited for this card. And luckily, thanks to my friends at Locals, I managed to get most of the deck done. All I'm missing is a couple more Omnimons, the new Secret Rare Greymon, which ironically, a friend of mine was able to pull two of them from a box. And so maybe I might hit him up, see what he's willing to trade for that. But other than that, I just need those and maybe one or two Malga. Which, by the way, is anyone watching this who keeps up with card prices? Oh my god, that card is spiking. Probably because the Garurumon Rush deck in Japan is doing crazy numbers right now. So, for the record, here's also another quick thing. I will be building the Agumon Rush deck because that actually was my first deck I ever played in this game. But unfortunately, we got screwed. If and story of my life, right? When it comes to Western players, we always get screwed by Bandai. But basically, for BT17 in Japan when that set was originally released, not Omnimon, Agumon Bond of Bravery Ace was released, but instead they're gonna hold it off for the West, and we're not gonna get it till December, basically. Sucks, right? Same thing with the scramble cards, if I remember right. So, yeah, unfortunately, the Omnimon deck can play without it, but for the record, that card brings completely new life to this deck, as well as War Greymon Tribal. But unfortunately, the Agumon Rush deck really needs four of that card. So unfortunately, I gotta wait a couple of months. But hey, hopefully, hey, it'll be worth it though, right? I'm excited still. So, besides that, though, I wanted to go over the cards that are used in the deck, give a little basic example, like showcase discussion of how this works, and I also want to go over some cards that you can actually tech into the deck that can be very useful. Because I've been doing research in this deck for a while. Because again, I've been wanting an Omnimon deck for a long time. Because again, Black War Greymon is my favorite Digimon, but I love the War Greymon a lot. Is Digimon in general, Agumon, pretty much Greymon anything really. But I really always wanted an Omnimon based deck, but again, I wasn't a big fan of the one from EX4, which for the record, might as well get that out now. The Omnimon Alter B and Alter S cards are two cards you can actually tech into this deck. They're both very useful in this deck, so keep those cards in mind. I did have one, but a friend of mine was playing the deck like a long time ago, so I got rid of it a while ago, so I'm gonna have to get another one. So it sucks, but oh well. And again, keep in mind also Malga is another important card that could use in this deck. But the number really depends because it's a toss up between if you want to play two of that one, and luckily I do already have one of the War Greymons, so it's a toss up whether you want to play two or one of this card. Personally, I like the idea of playing two of it and one copy each of Omnimon, Alter S, and Alter B. But again, playtesting. Hopefully the simulator updates soon. I'm patient though. I can wait. So now that that's out of the way, I wanted to also discuss all the components of this deck. So right away, the most important card is Omnimon. This is the main bread and butter, the centerpiece of the deck, obviously. Now, if you're a little unfamiliar with how this card works, I'll put it up here. As soon as it focuses, go ahead and pause and you can go ahead and read it. There you go. Basically, it's a Blastase, obviously. DNA Digievolution with a War Greymon and a Garurumon. And it had to be level 6. So, that's good because this is interesting because a lot of the times we're used to like Imperial Dramon, you gotta have, it's gotta be an XVmon. You can't use like Air Force Vdramon or something like that. It's gotta be XVmon and Stingmon, which again makes sense. But the fact that you can use any War Greymon and Metal Garurumon, because let's be real, this is the Goku and the Vegeta of Digimon. There are so many versions of these two cards. And it doesn't even actually say that it has to be a blue and a red. It could literally be whatever, as long as they're War Greymon and Greymon. So that means the X antibody ones obviously wouldn't work. Although I guess that'd be probably a little too good because you can just tech in Omnimon in all those decks. But so besides the X antibodies, as long as they say Metal Garurumon of War Greymon, you're good. So again, you can use the Warp War Greymon. I don't have the Secret Rare Malga, obviously. I mean, but ironically, I did have a friend who played the deck. I might hit him up, see if he hasn't played the game as really any much anymore. I might hit him up, see if he still has the stuff, see if he even cares about it anymore, see if I can make a deal. Another card you could play in the deck. Now, this is more of a tech idea. Now, when I was looking up different builds for this deck, seeing which ones have topped in Japan already, or like, Japan, Asia, all that's, that whole area where it's already, where the set has been out for a while now. I was looking at different builds because, it's a good way to, get a feel for the deck and, the kind of techs you could play. One card I did remember seeing in one or two of them I was not expecting this. The promo War Greymon. Now, I gotta be real with you. I only have this card because I actually have a collection of War Greymon cards. Here's the thing, I'm not a big collector in general. I'm really not. Like, I got friends from locals who collect like one of every card. I'm not even joking. I got a friend specifically, he's been on the channel multiple times, who insists on collecting a copy of every card in the entire game. Now, no judgment on that, if that's what you like, that's cool. More power to you. That's never really been my thing. Personally, I'm the kind of guy who only likes to really collect cards of the stuff that I enjoy. Like, in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I only really get the high rarity cards of Heroes, or Yubel, or, Winkariba. Like, shoot, I love this artwork. If you watch our Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. And Pokemon, Giratina is my favorite Pokemon, and Ghost types in general, so I usually go for those cards. So, in Digimon, though, I really only go for the really high rarities of these cards, and I try to get all the ones I don't have. Like, it's funny, my friends legit just usually throw me their spares. So that's actually how I got this card. A friend of mine knew how much I love the War Greymon line, I guess you could call it. So he basically just threw me this card because he didn't want it, and I was like, "Shoot, I'll take it." Yeah, why would I say no? So that's actually the only reason I have this card because I don't even remember because I don't even think I was playing the game yet at the time. So shoot, this is another card you can actually use. I'll put it up here because I'm pretty sure there are probably people who didn't even know this card existed because not a lot of people talk about it. Go ahead and pause there, but basically if you have a tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 13,000 DP or more. That's actually pretty good. Especially since right now it seems Digimon keep getting bigger and bigger. Like Omnimon is 15,000. But again, it's a fusion, so that makes sense. But then you got other, like, the 7th grade Demon Lords. All of them are definitely above, like, 12k. So that's actually not bad right now. And when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. Not as good, but pretty good to get rid of like annoying floodgates. So this is actually another card you could play if you want. Just to put that out there. I might play test it, although I think if I was gonna do that, I think I'm better off just playing 2 of these. But I might try a 1-1 split just to see how I like it. But this one is the automatic 4 of, obviously. Let's put these right here. So, back to Omnimon. Sorry about that. Hand, counter, blast, DNA, Digivolve. War Grandma, Metal Garurumon. One of your specified Digimon and one of your specified cards in hand may DNA Digivolve into this card. That's really interesting because I'm pretty sure that's the only card that really does that when it comes to fusion. Which makes sense because Omnimon's not really a Jogris. I know it's confusing, but it's kind of like what's a good example? I guess you could say it's kind of like Digimon that Jogris can still Digivolve. You know what I mean? They combine to become a completely new Digimon. Like when you take XVmon and you take Stingmon, combine them both and you get Ultramon. And so the same thing, but it's different for Omnimon. Omnimon is a full-on combination of the two and can't Digivolve. It has like it's like, you know, it's merciful mode form and all that stuff, but primarily it's combining two rather than, you know, combining two and they make a new Digimon. So that's the big difference. So that's really interesting because this means you don't even need both of them on the field to basically combine them. So that's actually really interesting. Let's see, raid, blocker, both effects you really want on play. When digivolving, if DNA digivolved, choose one of your opponent's Digimon and return it and all their Digimon with the same level as they to the bottom of the deck. Then delete one of their Digimon. It's funny it has that effect because I'm pretty sure that's a reference to the Digimon movie because when Omnimon basically first appeared, it destroyed all the Diaboromons. So I think it's a reference to that, how it says all Digimon at the same levels, since Diaboromon is a token generator deck. So that's pretty interesting. I think that's really cool. I love it when they incorporate actual stuff that's references to the Digimon series. I love that, honestly. Makes it a lot more. It makes it feel a lot more special. You know what I mean? So basically, you fuse your War Greymons and your Garurumons. And again, I already went over these two. Again, I would show the Malga, but I don't have it. But I'll put a picture of it if I haven't already. Now, that's when it comes to those. But you can't just make a deck out of those cards. And that brings me to the next part of the subject I wanted to discuss. The rookies you play in this deck. The new Gabumon, the new Agumon, my boy. And I know, we're all sick of this card. But at least it's not the promo one. That one's the more annoying one. Ukomon. Now, the reason Ukomon really quickly works in this deck is because, again, you could go turn 1, Digivolve, get a draw, and it's your opponent's turn. Yeah, and they only have one memory to work with, so that's actually pretty good because that's something a lot of people underestimate. Which again makes the promo Ukomon more annoying, but not the point. You literally put your opponent on one memory, so now they got to figure out what do they want to do. So it actually does limit your opponent if you're going first. So I actually kind of like the fact that this is how that Ukomon works. So the reason we play this is because think about it. We need our Omnimons. We need to search them as fast as possible. Not just our Omnimons, but our Tamers. I'll go over them in a sec. So playing this card is perfect. The fact it can, because this deck doesn't really care that much about, because this deck has a lot of ways to build up memory. I'll go over those in a sec. So as much search power as possible if is necessary. So that's why you can just use this, search top 3, add one to your hand, hatch your egg, and that's another important thing I'm going to go over when I get to the Tamers. So that's all, but so put a needle in that one. So the fact that we can turbo search our stuff, and think about it also. This deck, it doesn't really need to, usually when we play War Greymon, and I played against Malga enough times to know they do this too, usually they build up in the raising area to climb up into their stack. Here though, you don't need to worry since it's a combination of the two. Hell, again, you don't even need to both know at the same time. You just need at least one and then confuse the other one from your hand. Just like polymerization in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's actually kind of ironic, actually, now that I think about it. So that's one of the big reasons we play Ukomon. I'll go over the other reason in a sec. The Agumon, but really quick, if you don't want to play this Ukomon, you could play the EX4 what's it called? Gabumon. You know, the black Gabumon. You could play that one, which again might not be a good thing to experiment. Might be a good idea to experiment with. Again, I'm really looking forward to when the sim updates because I'm really looking forward to start playtesting those because there's like so many different builds this deck can take. It's actually kind of crazy. That's one of my favorite things. I love when a deck is extremely experimental. Like you could experiment different cards with it. That's one of the things I love about the War Greymon deck. Besides, favorite Digimon, but the fact that there's so many Greymon, Agumon, War Greymon cards, you can literally pick and choose which ones you want to play, you want to test with. So that's real. I'm really looking forward to that. Agumon. Agumon and Gabumon, self-explanatory. So I won't go over them for a sec. But another card you could be playing in this deck, which I honestly would suggest, is wait, where did I put it? Oh shoes! Oh crap! It's in my other deck box. Oh shoot! Sorry about that. All that. Man. I should probably really upgrade my deck boxes. Maybe get like one of those double deck boxes. I might do that. Another one you could play is our best friend, the BT12 Agumon. Now, every War Greymon player knows this card. Look at the top 4 of your deck. Add a card with Greymon in its name, and a card with and a tamer with Tai Kamiya in its name to your hand. And trust me, there are plenty of tamers you're going to be playing in this deck that you can search with this card. So, I personally would suggest 4 of this card. I think a 4 of all 4 of these right here might be the necessary rookie line, personally. But again, you could always switch out Ukomon for the EX4. God, I hope I'm getting that right. EX4 Black Gabumon, which again might also not be a bad idea. But I think if I were to do that, I'd also switch up to Tamers. And I'll go over why for that in a sec. Another suggestion I want to make really quick is that one other card you could play. Now, when I was looking up, like I said, different builds that have been topping in Asia for the Omnimon deck, another card that was actually teched in a lot of them was this one, the BT1 Gabumon. Primarily just to get draws. So, it's kind of funny. I actually had a complete set of this card just lying around, not sure what to do with. So, because again, I had a friend who hasn't really been playing Digimon lately. I think he switched to, I actually don't even know what he's playing right now. But he was playing Malga, but again, he hasn't in a while, so he didn't. So I was like, okay, what do I do with these? So it's funny. I had these for him. He doesn't play anymore, but now this can be used in Omnimon. Go figure, right? So this is another card you could tech into the deck. It's just a draw one, basically. Play it, draw one. So it really depends on what you want. Do you want draw power or do you want searching? It's a toss up. Again, because I know a lot of people really don't like playing Ukomon. I'm not the biggest fan either, for the record. So, again, food for thought. Now, the next cards I want to go over that you could play today for the deck. The champs. Okay. This is where it gets complicated because sadly, there's two you could play, but I only have one of them. Because like I said, I haven't unfortunately been able to pull any of the new Greymon Secret Rare, but we all know what that one is. I'll put a picture of it right here. That card is amazing, but how many is probably the questionable thing. I would say right now, this is just my opinion, I think two of it right now might be the best way to go. But when Agumon Bond of Bravery Ace is released for us, 4. Right away 4. Because remember, that card's name counts as Agumon. And Agumon Bond of Bravery Ace is so powerful, we want Agumon on the field in order to use that for defense. So, I would personally suggest 2 right now. But around the time December rolls around, maybe get those last 2. Personally, I always get a set of a card whenever new cards come out that I know I'm going to use. I always get a set because you never know. So I'm definitely going to be trying to get 4 of it anyways. By the way, let me know, what do you think of the alternate art of that card? I love it with the Agumon, the Koromon. But I know a lot of people aren't big fans of the other rarities of that card. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. So, I suggest 2 of that one and 4 of this Greymon. Because this Greymon, 1, any War Greymon player can tell you, powers up your Digimon by an extra 1,000. Not just your War Greymons, but your Omnimons. So that's going to be boosting up Omnimon up to 16k. Not only that, its other effect. The fact that it lets you play a Tai Kamiya from your hand when Digivolving. So you can just play your Agumon, play it, and play a Tai. And like I said, there are a lot of tamers in this deck with Tai in their name. And I'll be going over those right now. Let's see. Now I'm just gonna, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm gonna combine this section to talk about the tamers and the options. 1. The new red and blue Tai Kamiya and Matashita. The new Tai Kamiya and Kari Kamiya, which I accidentally started a thing. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. I've talked about this before on the channel. I'm a huge horror movie fan. Love them. My favorite movie of all time is Halloween. I gotta be honest. If anyone likes monster or horror movies, oh my god. Because of me, everyone at our locals now calls these 2 the Pumpkinheads. I'm sorry. If you've seen the movie Pumpkinhead, you see what I mean. I mean, come on, am I wrong? Oh man. But and the next one, Miraculous Mega Knight. So, like I said, these 2 tamers both have the name Tai Kamiya in it, so that makes it an automatic target for BT12 Agumon and Greymon. Lets us search, and this Greymon lets us play it for free from our hand, as long as we don't already have a tamer with Tai Kamiya in play. So, that's very important to know. So I think that's really necessary. And this also brings up the other Tai Kamiyas you could tech into the deck. Okay, like I said, I had a friend who did play the Alter B deck, but I remember he scrapped it a while ago when I think Jessmon got his new stuff, or I think it was when Angels were, I think he scrapped it for Angels. But I did what's it called? Where is it? Oh yeah. You could play the EX4 Tai and Matt, the older red and blue one. So that's another option you could play, which might not be a bad idea. Another card you could play is the BT5 Tai and Matt, the white one. Again, sorry about outside neighbors. This card is honestly really good because it lets you give your Omnimon extra security, which actually is very good because it pretty much lets you almost OTK your opponent with Omnimon. Or hell, it's later in the game, you could even OTK with it. Think of it. So with Omnimon, you get 2 checks. And let's say they're already at 2 or something. Remember, the Metal Garurumon, once per turn, will let your... here it is. Will let your Omnimon unsuspend. So you could get some quick OTKs with this card. So this is an option right here. This time, Matt, honestly, would not cut. I think, although 4 is the question, I think if you don't want to play 4 of this, you could maybe play 3 and maybe 1 of this. Again, food for thought. This one is obviously another iffy one because I've seen a lot of people go back and forth on 4 or 3. I'm going to playtest 4 and see how I like it. Now, this is the other card I wanted to talk about, the Pumpkin Heads. I'll put it up here in case anyone hasn't read it. Okay. When your breeding area is hatched in, by suspending this tamer, you gain 1 memory. Now think of it, this is really good, because remember, not only does Greymon, the white Greymon, let you hatch your breeding area, which is very good for turboing out your Digimon, but also your Ukomon does the same thing. That's why I suggested Ukomon in this deck is honestly very powerful. So basically you can suspend it, gain 1 memory. There are a lot of ways that this deck gains memory. Obviously there's this way. So, and this one as well. So there's a lot of ways you could gain memory in this deck. End your turn by returning this tamer to the bottom of your deck, draw 1 card. Then you may play 1 tamer card with Tai Kamiya or Kari Kamiya in the name from your hand without paying the cost. So, basically, you could use it, gain memory, draw 1, and then you could get rid of it and you can play another one. So that's something very useful right there. And that's why I suggested the Ukomon could honestly be very useful in this deck. Another card you could play, by the way, when it comes to tamers, is the structure deck Black Tai Kamiya. If you play the War Greymon tribal deck, we all know what this card does. When the attack target switch, suspend, one of your Digimon gains 2,000, you get a draw. Really good for getting your Omnimon up to higher stats. Because remember, Omnimon Ace does have raid. So, that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over. Those are all the cards that are very important for the deck, and as well as some tech cards that can be used in the deck as well. And that's pretty much all I wanted to go over. I think I'm really excited for this deck. Like I said, I've been wanting a Omnimon deck for a while. Again, I was considering building what's it called? Alter B for the channel. But then I heard that they were finally making this deck, and I was like, all right, I'm good, I'll wait. So, wait's finally done, and we're here. So, that's it for this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Also, really quick, I'm sorry if my voice sounds scratchy. I've been under the weather for a couple of days, but I'm feeling a lot better. So, that's pretty much it for everything. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good weekend. Take care. Bye.